From the Post-Millennial. California Governor Gavin Newsom declares state of emergency over bird flu after 34 human cases. Well, here we go. On Wednesday, Newsom declared a state of emergency. In the proclamation, Newsom wrote that all residents are to obey the direction of emergency officials with regard to this emergency in order to protect their safety. The proclamation stated that avian influenza H5N1 was first detected in the U.S. wild bird population in South Carolina. We get it. Since then, 61 dairies have confirmed positive tests for the bird flu across 9 counties in Central California. Despite testing and containment efforts, dairy cows at 4 Southern California dairies tested positive for bird flu December 12, 2024, necessitating a shift from regional containment to statewide monitoring in response to active cases. The document noted that since March, there have been 61 human cases reported across 8 states, 34 in California. Under the emergency declaration, states agencies shall enter into contracts to arrange for the procurement of materials, goods, and services necessary to quickly assist with the response to and recovery from the impacts of this emergency. All right, what's the over-under on by January 20th? We're in a full-blown bird flu pandemic.
Man.
Someone get RFK Jr. on this.
What do you guys think? I mean, a state of emergency in California is going to grant him some powers. Does it stop there?
I do think that it will depend on the state. I think that there will be some states that'll say, no, we're going to go ahead and lock down. And if that will say we need to do things similar to California, I think there are some states that are going to say, you know what? The states that didn't do that last time actually fared better in the long run. There was some problems in the beginning, but they fared better in the long run, so we're not going to do that. I think that it's going to depend. It's going to be a situation where some states will, some states won't, and then the fight is going to be over the narrative there, because the states that do lock down, they're going to want to make sure that at least they have a good narrative that they can explain away why they did it, and they're going to want to have data that supports their decision. So it was the right decision because blah 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 blah, and they'll have their talking points. And then the states that don't lock down will say, well, no, it wasn't the right decision. We made the right decision, and we'll have our talking points. And then the American people are going to decide which one they prefer based on emotional reaction.
And we're living in a world now in which the presumption that an entire nation had, the vast majority of people, that you could trust your state and local and federal government on, and your doctors.
Yeah.
And the universities on matters of public health could prima facie be trusted. That's over. That's gone. Yes, there are people who have pled their trust. They are more committed to state control of their health and well-being than ever before. But they have destroyed so much equity and trust there that the entire process that you just described is going to go, I think, quite differently from the way it did last time.
So I was reading a little bit more. The most severe case was one gentleman in Louisiana. He didn't die, but he was hospitalized. So far, I'm reading that there is no person-to-person transmission. I'm saying even if this were as bad as COVID were, given how much distrust there is between Americans and our health services, our public health services, and our government, I couldn't imagining the American people having any sort of patience for any sort of lockdown or shutdowns a la that we did during COVID time. And I especially couldn't see it going into a second Trump administration. So whatever this is, I hope they obviously address it properly, but I couldn't imagine another full-scale lockdown.
Well, I'm glad Jay Bhattacharya is going to be in place.
Every year we have these bird flu scares.
Right, that's right, for many years running. That's right.
So far it's relatively contained, and hey, we need something to fearmonger around. So I guess that's being widely reported.
It's hard to know when stories are actually just a short attention span civilization, like society. We're looking for things to report on. This scares us because of the past pandemic. But if there was a bigger if there was, say, like a nuclear strike from Russia in Ukraine, no one would be talking about this. The whole show would be dedicated to being like the ramifications of a nuclear strike, and though it would be an important story.
And the Jews, the Jews,
of course,
always
has to. Yeah. You got to shoehorn them in somewhere.
I mean, look at the comments. That is the only topic that's being discussed here.
No, just a few people.
That's true.
They like saying
they tend to be repetitive, like most dullards.
But the issue I guess I'm bringing up is, could this just be a nothing burger?
Yeah.
I think we're heading towards the holidays. People are seeing stuff in the sky where you think we're being visited by UFOs. You know, I don't know. Somebody got sick, so now we're trying to fearmonger a little bit.
So those 34,
I wanted to,
34 human cases is nationwide.
No, that's
just
61,
California?
61 nationwide, 34
nation-
California. You know that song where it's like, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars?
Yeah.
I had this idea for a joke where, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky? I want to take it and then just AI Haley Williams' voice. So she says, can we pretend that the airplanes in the night sky are like drones? And then just be
It
like,
should be just monotone drones,
Yep.
just like straight like that.
drones.
I think it's funny. It's like somebody thinks they see an airplane. They're like, oh, let me go send my drone up to go check this out. The neighbor sees it. It's like, oh, crap. I think there's a drone in the air. I think I need to send my drone up to go check this one out.
So let me just be clear. I live in a part of New Jersey that is situated
I didn't know you lived in
Between-
New Jersey. I liked you.
thank you, between
I
Newark.
handle the smell.
I don't live in the oil refinery. Believe me, there are places in New Jersey that you would be very happy to retire to.
Atlantic City.
That would not have been my first choice.
Jersey Shore.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm right basically between Teterboro Airport and Newark Airport.
oh, okay.
So we're used to the sounds of all kinds of aircraft. I can tell you in the last week, I heard it, Mrs. C heard it. There were weird sounds, and people, friends of ours, did see low-flying craft in the nighttime skies of New Jersey. That's all I know. And you know what?
Were they big?
Were they were big, like car size?
Really?
Yeah.
I think Americans are predisposed, not Americans, people, humans are predisposed to look up in the sky and wonder, look among the stars, the moons, the planets, the drones, whatever's flying in the sky, and wonder. I'm from New York. I never see the stars when I'm there. When I come out to here to West Virginia, I look up and it looks like a totally different planet. So I don't know. We look up in
gyrocopters that fly around here.
there's stuff in the
So,
air. And
like with the Potomac River, there's gyrocopter tours. And so we see weird low-flying car-sized things, just like zoom past all the time.
And I hope the military is working on something way past our understanding, at least testing out some.
Yeah, they're actually anti-gravity passenger vehicles, and the quad rotors on them are an illusion just to make it look like they're using, standard fluid dynamic flight.
Yeah, instead we have the F-35. Barely works. What was that jet that Elon Musk was complaining about? He might cut with Doge.
Oh, yeah, he said it was awful.
Wasn't that the F-35? No?
I don't know if it was the F-35.
I don't remember exactly which.
I bring this up, of course, everyone's concerned about a state of emergency because people are trying to find which conspiracy will come true to hinder Donald Trump. Nobody wants to believe that Trump's going to get in with a clean inauguration. There was some guy, there's a video going viral where he says he's calling for 11 million people to go to the Capitol and give Trump a coronary to peacefully force Trump to reject the presidency, which makes no sense because then who would be president? But everybody's trying to figure out which conspiracy is it going to be? Bird flu? Drones? What's going on?
Jews.
What are they going to do?
Tim, why'd you skip that one? Bird flu, drones.
they're all Jewish.
Because he's a shill for Israel, of
that's what I
course.
had a
No, because those are all Jewish conspiracies.
No, because the drone conspiracy is that there's some secret operation going on. The bird flu conspiracy is that people are dying of a disease. You have to tell me what the Jews are going to do to Trump.
What are they going to do to Trump?
Yeah.
You mean, since they already control him, after all,
Well, then why would they stop him?
then why would they stop him?
Exactly.
Yeah, so what is it?
Is that
what's the secret plan then?
is
They
actually
never have to be consistent.
is that a real conspiracy though? Like, do people actually think that Trump is controlled by Jews?
Yes.
Definitely.
Dude, Nick Fuentes, he is all in on the, Trump used to be against immigration, like illegal and legal immigration, and now he's all pro-Israel
He
and
was
blah, blah,
always
blah, blah.
for legal immigration.
Yeah, he
always.
always was.
It's
I know.
not only Trump, it's the Zionist-occupied government.
There you
It's
go.
the Zog. So totally under the thumb of the... Yeah, and Trump, too. I mean, his biggest donors were Jews in both campaigns, the Adelsons. Musk might have edged out, but he did it through a super PAC or what have you. But,
How's the check?
There are a lot of weird people out there.
Yeah, there are.
And they're all in the chat.
Elon Musk doesn't get enough credit for spending as much money as he does. I feel like the Adelsons, they get a ton of credit, but Elon Musk whips out $100 million, and if he were Jewish, I feel like he'd have more eyes on him.
But $100 million for him is a little bit more like, making a wedding for, a middle class person. Whereas for the Adelsons, $100 million, I think they might notice.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I don't know how much money the Adelsons have versus Elon Musk when it comes to like liquid cash. You know,
Yeah, I mean, like, we have no idea what we're talking about.
I was hinting a little bit earlier about Elon Musk and his relationship with Trump and potential concerns about it. I think we like Elon Musk because he widely agrees with us, but there are some conflicts of interest with him working in government. He does have very big businesses, obviously. Trump used to be very anti-EVs until Elon Musk became a supporter of his. And then he had a quote where he's like, well, Elon Musk is one of my biggest supporters now. I guess I got to like EVs. So the relationship is interesting. I doubt it'll last all 4 years of the Trump administration. I don't know if he's just trying to like couch Elon Musk in this Doge project with Vivek, but with how much influence he's exerting, especially with on this CR,
I mean,
he's somebody to have our eyes on. He thinks he's president, though. I think Elon thinks he's the Jew controlling Trump. It's Elon.
You have a problem with African Americans, obviously.
yeah, that's what it is. You just don't like.
Well, South Africans like Serge. This guy's the.
I don't think Trump is easily controlled. I think he can be manipulated. Maybe not easily, but he can be. And so he certainly falls into these traps where he trusts someone too much. I don't see a reality where someone goes to Trump and tells him what to do, and he just goes, "Whatever you say, I'll do whatever you want." That's not Donald Trump. Yeah.
You'd have to try to convince it it's his idea. You'd have to.
Right. You can manipulate him. Trump's the kind of guy who's like, Seamus made the joke when we did the Fauci Trump cast the COVID into the fire gag. So the joke was that Fauci is making an excuse for why they made the virus, and it's a play on Lord of the Rings where Fauci says to Trump, do it, cast the virus into the fires. And Trump goes, well, I was going to, but now I'm not because you told me to. Like, that's kind of the idea. You can't go to Trump and say, do it. He'll go, now I'm doing the opposite.
And easily flattered. I think if you give him a lot of compliments, tell him he's the biggest and best president that he ever had, that there ever was. You tell him that he won the previous election, that he's never lost the election, that he's been president the whole time. He'll think
I told him that. I said he was the best president of my lifetime.
And that he never lost one.
And I didn't say that.
But if you do say that to him, he'll give you endorsements.
It's true, though.
Yeah. So
he is,
how was your experience meeting Trump when you did that interview with him?
I met him a couple times. The interview is good. But I did tell him that he's the greatest president of my lifetime, and it's not very many.
And he agreed.
Yeah, he did agree. Well, he thanked me. He said thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. But it's true. You look at the economy, you look at the border, you look at trade policy, you look at foreign policy. It's the best we've ever had. But there's an element in this country that wants us to dump hundreds of billions of dollars in Ukraine. And they can't articulate why. Other than Russia is a big country.
Yeah.
And Ukraine is a small country.
So I think it was Mitch McConnell who wrote an article in Foreign Policy earlier this week, or I think it was earlier this week or late last week, about why we should still be in Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. He'll argue things like that all of our enemies are... they're all working together. It's this axis of resistance. And part of why Assad fell was because Russia's bogged down in Ukraine. And, if Russia's successful in Ukraine, then it could help embolden China. How do you react to something like that from somebody like Mitch McConnell?
Say it one more time.
Mitch McConnell argues that all the axis of resistance are allies with each other, and that when Putin's bogged down in Ukraine, Assad is propped up less, and China's less emboldened to invade Taiwan. And
can you make that more concise? Are you saying that our enemies are united, and if we withdraw from one area, they will
become emboldened? And yeah, like for example, if China sees that we retreat from helping Ukraine, then we're therefore less likely.
I think it's the actual. I think it's the opposite. Mm-hmm. I think China sees an opportunity with U.S. entrenchment. This. I think this is more historically accurate. China wants Taiwan. They're going to wait until we are occupied and bogged down in a war we can't handle, and then they're going to make their move. So if we say we're not getting involved in Ukraine, who's not an ally, our concern is Taiwan. Who cares? Russia takes the Donbass region and moves into Crimea, and we're like, whatever. Not a NATO country. China's going to be like, we can't make a move on Taiwan because the U.S. is armed and ready. We dump hundreds of billions of dollars into Ukraine, start sending troops to Poland, and we've been doing that. And then China, what happens? A Chinese vessel drops anchor and severs two undersea cables because they create conflict and chaos there. They assist. And then when we're distracted and that pulls resources away from the Pacific Fleet, they can move into Taiwan, which they've been continually trying to do.
It's going to be interesting to see how foreign policy plays out in the Trump administration, because I feel like he's neither an isolationist nor interventionist. Trump, like he does in many political fields, he ascends. So
I think Trump tries to play it a little close to the chest. He doesn't want to know. You never know which way he's gonna go. He can nuke you, or he could launch a peace treaty.
He might need another madman involved in his administration.
I certainly hope not.
Well, I think he already has some of them with Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz, was it? And
Are you saying that
Yeah.
that Marco Rubio's a madman?
not a madman, but
More neocon.
people would call him a neocon, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense. I mean, Marco Rubio is the most establishment guy that I think I've heard Trump decide to.
I think he's very hawkish
point.
still, Rubio. He just,
Yeah, but I think
goes under the radar.
Rubio's proven to Trump that he'll just do what Trump says.
Yeah.
That Trump's like, listen, you're going to do the job. You're going to do what we want you to do. And then afterwards, you have a career in front of you. And Rubio's probably like, okay.
It would be dumb politically for any of these guys to cross Donald Trump, obviously. It's not even the Republican Party anymore. It's the MAGA Party. It's the MAGA season, baby.
Yep.
So.
The Republican Party was awful. I never liked them. And then Trump came in, and he is not a traditional Republican. And Bernie was trying to do the same thing to the Democrats. So,
But he wasn't willing to really try. When push came to shove, Bernie backed down
oh, yeah.
Bernie's
every single time.
Bernie is a spineless coward. He is absolutely, no matter how, I don't care if you like what he was talking about or not, it is objectively true that he is spineless and he doesn't have the guts to stand up to the Democrats at all. He walked off the stage as soon as two women got up on stage and were saying, this is our stage now, and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, fine, get out of here. So the idea that Bernie is like is a person to be emulated, that's a joke, in my opinion.
So he has no spine and no guts. What consists of his body?
I imagine that he has like a carapace. That it is kind of his torso is actually a carapace. He's a bug.
So there's not many good things I could say about Democrats, but I do think they subjugate the socialists in their party very well. So like what they did with Bernie Sanders and now what they're doing with AOC with these head house positions that she was angling
We'll see
for.
about that because the socialists in the party were setting the narrative for the Democrats for the past 15 years. That's what woke is.
Yeah.
It's all race communism, right? It's all just communism based on race. Equity is all communism. We got to bring the people that are of the minorities POC. They all have to be given stuff so that way we can tear the white people down. Like that was the whole deal. So I don't know that they actually do control them. We'll see. The current civil war in the Democrat Party will kind of show you. But and it would be nice to see the Democrats kind of return to being marginally intelligent and to really isolate people like Hassan and the far left and do something about the fact that there are so many Democrats or leftists that would caucus with the Democrats that will say things like they support the murder of the United Healthcare CEO and all of the horrible, monstrous results that can come with having that sentiment being the dominant sentiment in your political party.
Yeah, I think they really speak to the sentiment that many people were praising Luigi for.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Which is so gross. I also think there's something to be said about half the people who were talking in support of Luigi online, half of them were POS communists, obviously.
Yes.
And I feel like it's dangerous to be sympathetic with people like those. Once you start justifying political murder, I think that leads you down, obviously, a really dumb, gross, obviously immoral route. But that's the age that we're on right now. Shinzo Abe, God rest his soul, was murdered in cold blood. But the person who perpetrated that crime was praised. And he was, so you have to wonder what the downstream effects with that will be. Multiple attempts on Donald Trump's life, obviously, with all the praise that Luigi has received online, although probably not as real, not as potent in real life as it is online, could inspire others. So we could have this stochastic terrorism effect. That's the only time I'd ever appreciate and use that phrase like that too.
I thought you were going to go on to it. No, I agree with you. But if you look at the politics in the U.S. and I think that this is probably inflamed by the internet and stuff. But there are people on the far left, and there are far more people on the far left that are comfortable with calling themselves communists. But there is a growing faction on the far right that are comfortable, putting up pictures of Hitler and saying we owe this man an apology. That was a tweet.
Yo, that was a wild tweet. It's got
Yeah,
like 6 million views.
Unreal. But, I mean, look, if they're
How do you know it was 6 million?
That's a good question.
Can you name all 6 million?
And are there even that many phones? Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.